Modern women struggle with accountability. If we're being honest, they bring no value to the table, and all they have to offer is their beauty and intimacy. And that's unfortunate. A woman that seeks attention and validation more than respect and authenticity takes things for granted and is unappreciative and kind of has a high level of expectations and a low level of give. She's a taker, she's not a giver.
We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be with it, every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I.
I saw this one video where this lady was talking about in this generation, we have created it that women can no longer be wrong. That anything a woman does can be justified and she needs no correction. And sometimes when women hear these things, they get triggered, they get angry, and they're immediately on the defense. But ask yourself this question. When you are dealing with female family members or female friends, do you experience this? Do you experience that you can't correct them without an argument, or they can never apologize for their wrongdoings? What do we really think about this statement?
Why do modern women struggle with accountability?
Because that would mean that they have to acknowledge that they don't bring value to the table. That would mean that they have to acknowledge that all they have to offer is beauty and intimacy. And that's unfortunate. A modern woman of 2024 is a woman that seeks attention and validation more than respect and authenticity. It is a woman who is entitled to whatever it is that people have around her. It is a woman that takes things for granted, is not appreciative, and kind of just has a high level of expectation with low level of give. You know, she's a taker, not a giver.
This is why women refuse to accept accountability and would rather cry, walk away, walk out the room, block his number, whatever, because we rather do that than take accountability. Right. This is the part men don't understand. Attention is attention. Okay. Attention is attention. So whether it's good attention, whether it's bad attention, as long as we are the center of it, it doesn't really matter. All of that emotional spiraling, it's because it gets us attention.
So I just heard a woman on a podcast admit that she's been cheating on her husband and he found out. And so they ended up going to therapy, but then plot twist, she is taking zero accountability and she's playing the victim card. She even goes on to say that the therapist agreed with her, telling her that the husband drove her to do it. The lack of accountability amongst women these days is unreal. You guys cheat, it's the husband's fault. The guy cheats on you, it's also his fault. So sick and tired of seeing women take zero accountability, even when they're the ones that did the action, even when they're the ones that are at fault. Still, zero accountability. And you wonder why men are not pursuing anymore. Then you wonder why.
Accountability will heal a lot of relationships. In most cases, it doesn't matter why you did what you did. What matters the most is that you're willing to acknowledge the pain that was caused by your actions, accept responsibility for your actions, and then take accountability by making the necessary changes so that it won't happen again. That's it, and that's all.
Black women are so terrified to hold each other accountable. That is sad. Not holding Black women accountable is the reason that Black women are at the bottom right now. And the reason for that is, if you hold a Black woman accountable, they consider you a sellout. They consider that you're not a girl's girl. You're against your people. You're a hater. All because you're holding one another accountable to do better. This idea that you don't go against your own people is the reason that we are where we are. We're stuck. We are raised in a society that has taught us as Black women that love and support means lying to you, coddling you and agreeing with the foolishness. That is what we consider love. So as a Black woman, the way that I show my love for my friends is I lie to her. Yep, that's what it is. I lie to her and I tell her whatever she wants to hear, so that way she don't get mad at me. She doesn't not be my friend anymore. That's what you're supposed to do. And y'all know me. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to speak out. I'm not afraid to hold us accountable, because again, not holding us accountable is the reason that we as Black women are at the bottom, because nobody has told us that we were wrong. We need to do better. Everybody around us sit around and watch us self-destruct our lives and talk about you to somebody else. So that's saying to you, sis, you got to do better. I'm not going to agree with that anymore. I'm not going for that anymore. I'm not going to watch you do that in my presence, because if you do, I'm going to remove myself. But again, if you do that, the whole community is going to attack you, and you got to be prepared to stand on your own when those attacks come, because they're going to come for sure when you hold a Black woman accountable.
So we take how we feel about ourselves out on our husbands so that we don't have to be accountable and be exposed to it. And the challenge is that when we live as victims, blaming other people and our husbands for how we feel, we have no self-awareness. There is no self-awareness in being a victim, because our sole focus and lens is on what our husbands are doing to cause us to feel this way. And we have no capacity to look at ourselves and how we are creating the experience we are having. So that's why we have to move into camp, take responsibility of what is it about me? What are the choices and decisions I have made to have caused me to feel this way? Because then we can have a solution. But it stems from our own the emasculation stems from our own self-hatred, our own self-esteem and lack of confidence that we don't want to face and don't have a constructive way to face, that then causes us to emasculate.
So they think they could just get away with the privilege of not being accountable because of all the structures that are put into place. One thing you guys mentioned before earlier was about Maury. Think about the concept of Maury. This is why so many women today are incapable of understanding the word accountability when they look at the different structures within our society today. The concept of Maury is she can test 6 to 10 men, but she'll never get booed. Ever.
She gets clapped.
She can come out up on stage and never get booed, but they'll boo all 6 of the guys, even if they were never the father.
You need to be a dad. You need to be a dad.
She's not mine.
You're telling me that I raped you, but if I raped you, then how'd you get?
Talk about accountability, right? Because the modern woman would prefer to lie than take accountability. So with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, she preferred to lie than to be seen. Because I've always said that women have a perception, right, that they want to keep up. They want to be seen a certain way.
Okay? Our image.
And so what it is that for women, image is everything. Right. And so with Amber Heard, she didn't want her image to be destroyed. With the women that go on the Maury show, and I'm telling you, they go crazy. He should have been doing this before the DNA test comes out, by the way. They're going crazy because what? They're trying to keep an image, right? The problem is, the reason why MTR was talking about, okay, DNA test should be mandatory. The reason why they won't do it is because women's image would be destroyed. Women want an image in this society, and their image is going to be destroyed. So what they would prefer to do is lie, because there are many people, most people, believe that women are quite innocent, believe that they're the ones that are always a victim, right? What will happen is their image will be destroyed and they'll be seen for who they are, and they don't want it.
In the case of 11-month-old Lila, Drew, you are not.
But you know what happens when they do get found out to be lying? They get consoled.
No, they run off.
Oh my God, I got
they run off and scream.
Don't worry. They run off and scream.
I got so many stories about this.
And everyone's like, oh, it's okay. So what it is that there's no accountability. me and MTR know, right? If a guy does something and it's wrong and it goes tits up, there's an accountability there, right? There's accountability right there. Women get consoled, they get mollycoddled, they get told that it's okay, don't worry about it. So then she does what? She goes and does it again. Yeah, because she never learned the lesson. There was no real consequence.
Exactly.
If I
and she's consoled by men and women.
Men and women.
And to help you. Don't jump all over her, okay? It's okay, Lila. You okay?
Honestly, I don't think by now every man knows women like accountability. If you're a man and you don't know women like accountability, I feel sorry for you. Like, most women lack accountability. Most women do not. They're not accountable for stuff at all. And I think most men know that already. But I think the biggest problem is women don't even hold each other accountable. That's the biggest problem. Women don't hold each other accountable. The men that's dating these women don't hold them accountable too. That's where the big problem comes from. Because if the men are holding them accountable and start putting them on a pedestal, these women will start being accountable for stuff. But because their friends don't hold them accountable, well, the boyfriend don't hold her accountable, she's not learning anything. So she don't see any reason for her to change. This is the problem. That's why sometimes I don't blame this woman. Because if everyone keep putting her on a pedestal, the boyfriend is put on a pedestal, the friends keep telling her she's the best, she never do no wrong and shit. Of course, she's going to feel like she's something special. She's going to think like she don't need to change. This is the problem. This is exactly why most women are not accountable for stuff. Because everybody in her life is telling her she's perfect. Everybody is telling her she's a queen and she's strong and independent and she can do no wrong. Of course, why would she want to change? Especially if she's beautiful or she's a little attractive or something. Everyone just lied to her. Everyone just tell her what she wants to hear. Of course, she has no reason to change. She has no reason to be accountable for anything. We have seen so many situations of women do dumb shit and get away with it because, oh, she's attractive. And the guys, oh yeah, she's attractive, she's gonna get away with it. We've seen so many situations like that. A woman would cheat on the husband and still blame the man for it. Oh, he works too much. Oh, he don't give me enough attention. That's why I cheated. No accountability. So I'm not surprised that so many modern women are not accountable for nothing. The other problem is the women are actually accountable for something, you never see them. Because now there's so many bad ones that the good ones, you don't even see them. Or you blame everybody because the bad ones ruin everything for the good ones. That's the problem now. That's why it's so hard to date now. And if you're going to find dates, you just got to find, one of the bad ones because the good ones don't do nothing. They just go to work and go home because they're tired because they keep meeting assholes. So it makes the dating market so bad now that, accountability of women is like different. They're going different ways. Women lack it. They don't want to hear nothing about it. Majority of them, not all of them. Majority of them. That's why I usually tell people, I usually tell guys, if you're dating a girl and she's, avoiding accountability, you need to leave the fucking relationship. That ain't for you. Because if the woman is not willing to say sorry or change that bad character, you need to leave. You need to leave. You'd rather be single with a peace of mind than living with a woman that can't take accountability for nothing. It's better for you to be single. It's better for you not to be dating than dating someone that's not accountable for something. Yes, it might hurt you. You might be lonely. You might be sad. You might be depressed, whatever. But eventually you're going to overcome that shit. It's time. It's time. After a while, you're gonna forget about the shit and move on and find someone else. Time heals a lot of shit. And you might think, oh yeah, you've invested a lot. But trust me, money comes, money goes. You're gonna find another money. Leave that situation. It's not for you. Accountability is a big thing in people's life. Human beings need to be able to be accountable for bad decisions. And I know a lot of men do that shit too, but it's more prominent in women, because since they were young, you're my princess, you're beautiful, you can't do no wrong, you're strong and independent, you this, you that. Of course, what you think she's gonna do? She's gonna think she's on top of the world. This is the biggest problem. This is exactly why a lot of women lack accountability. So I ain't surprised. I watched the whole video and I'm like, I'm not surprised. I go through the same shit in my dating life. There's so many people, so many girls I've broken up with because of accountability. They would rather block you, they would rather cry, they would rather play the victim instead of just being accountable for bad decisions or being accountable for what they do. So the accountability thing and women is just oil and water. It don't go together. It don't go together at all. We've seen so many situations in marriages where the woman is just blaming the man, or she's blaming the ex-boyfriend or whatever, like she's some perfect angel, or she's done no wrong. It's the boy's fault. It's the man's fault. He works too much. He's not giving me attention, blah, blah, blah. She never do nothing wrong. That's the modern woman for you. That's why you got to be careful who you're dating, who you lay with. Don't let big booty put you in a bad decisions, in a bad situation, sorry. So many men, because of ass and titties, put themselves in bad situations because they want to have sex, or they're scared of being lonely. You'd rather be lonely than be with an asshole or dating some idiot. Trust me, you'd rather be lonely than dating a bad woman. It's way, way better to be lonely than dating a bad woman. At the end of the day, I know both men and women gotta be accountable, but I just feel like a lot of women are not accountable. There's so many men accountable for the bad decision. Men don't need to be accountable because life is just gonna smack you. That's it with men. You don't have to be accountable because life is gonna show you why you need to be accountable. But on the women's side, life don't show them nothing. A woman could go a whole life avoiding situations instead of facing the situation and dealing with the situation. She can go a whole life of not being accountable. A man cannot do that. Something is going to smack you. Something is going to put you in the right direction. Like, yo, face your accountability and be accountable for that shit. Women, on the other hand, they can go their whole life with nothing smacking them until they get older. Maybe she's like 35 now or 40. And now she's like, oh yeah, I fucked up when I was 20. Or I should have done this when I was 20. That's when it's too late. That's when they're usually accountable. But anyway, guys, y'all gotta stay safe out there. Here with another video. I'm gonna see y'all later. Please like and subscribe.